Get my Bluetooth on. I'm driving to meet a client.
Always on the grind. Are you
Okay.
are you driving the Lambo or the Cadillac, or what's the sports car of choice today?
No, it's actually Subaru.
That's what the real rich guys drive, the unassuming, like, affordable cars.
Right? I I mean, I've never been. I mean, I like cars, but I never want to. I mean, at some point when you have just tons of money, yeah, it makes sense. But I'm usually low dollars into a car.
I heard Alex Hormozy doing a breakdown on when you can afford the ultra luxury areas of things, and he was breaking down the cost of what it actually takes to afford these lifestyles. When he broke it all down, it seemed a little bit low to me, but it came out to like 300 grand a year on like purely everything. Like that's out the door. And so he made the point like people are making 300 grand and they're living this lifestyle and that's what they have left at the end of the day is $0. But then he said that should be no more than 10% of your take home pay. And that's when you can afford it, as if 300K is. So
Did you
what is
say
that?
how much? 10% of your take home?
Yeah, that shouldn't exceed if you want to do all
Yeah.
that stuff.
And if you're the Dave Ramsey would always say, if you can't pay cash for it, then you shouldn't buy it.
Right. I think at that point you should pay cash. If it's really costing you only 10% of your income, what are you doing trying to nickel and dime an interest rate to get a better return on that small amount of money that you're not even caring about in the first place? Like, yeah, I agree with that. Same thing with the car. It shouldn't be more than half your net worth and you should pay for it in cash. I think that's all good. I recently just did the math on a $50,000 car. Like, so that's a pretty typical, like, nice new car that somebody would buy and make payments on for like 6 years. So, and I did it for my age. So if you were 28 years old, you bought a $50,000 car, like a new Ford Explorer or something, um, put no money down and paid 6% interest on it for like 5 years, I think is what the normal term would be. You would pay an extra $11,000 in interest, and the car value by the end of those 5 years would have depreciated by 45%. That was the data that AI gave me of average car depreciation. Contrasted with if you would have just bought a cheaper car with cash and invested that, whatever it would be, 550 a month or whatever that payment is, if you would have invested that for those 5 years and then never invested again, that all of that investment you would have contributed like 51 something thousand, and that would grow to be over 500 grand by the time you retire. But the next point would be most people don't just have that car payment for 5 years. They always like sell the car and get a new one. Versus this person, let's say you invested that money continuously, you would have like, I think the number came out to like 5 million or something if you consistently did that from you were 28 to when you were retiring 59 and a half. So that's how much a car really costs you. It's like millions of dollars. Hey, I gotta plug this. My computer's about to die here. So how much money are you about to make on this deal here? Hold on. Are you still there? Second.
Hello.
I have to go off this mic real quick. My mic quality is not going to be as good, but we'll just have to go with it. You're on your way to go close a deal right now or show a house or what?
So this client bought a little over a year ago, and they're about halfway done with the building a new house on the lot. So the existing house, they took it, split it into two, and they have renters in the top and the bottom. And then they're putting a new house where the garage was in the front. It's a 2-story house, I think 1,000 square feet, 2 bed, 2 bath. and then it has like a rooftop patio on it.
That's a nice property right there.
Yeah, so the goal, I think they're going to sell, um, I think both of them. So if they end up selling both of them, then obviously the plan is to have me list it. So we'll talk about that. Or they may keep one, sell one. Just kind of depends on. It's a partnership group, so I'm not sure. Like, if they want to stay partners long term, they'd probably just keep it all. But if they're looking to take the money and move it into something else, maybe they'll sell both of those.
Dang. Wasn't there a law passed about, and obviously you'd be listing this one, but buyer's agents where they're no longer needed officially? Like you need a specific, like an extra paperwork for that. Has that hit your business at all?
So the law was, I think what you're referencing, there was a class action lawsuit related to commissions for agents.
Yeah.
And the gist of it is that um, the same holds true as before, the way that I understand it. The fee or the commission that's paid is negotiable, both on the buy side and the sell side. So, and so it's up to the agent to communicate what that commission is and then figure out how it's going to be paid. So the real issue that came up in the lawsuit was that it was, basically saying that um, the brokerages were having the sellers pay for the seller paid commission for the listing side, and then the seller would pay for the buyer's side. The people bringing the buyer to the table, and technically they never had to do that. It's just that that was the way that it has always been done. So the gist of what came out of that is that everyone needs to sign, both on the buy side and the sell side. uh, Selling side would be a listing agreement with the commission structure, what the seller is paying for the seller agent and the buyer agent. Now, traditionally, the buyer agent is paid by the seller side, but they don't have to, nor did they ever have to. It's just kind of the way it was. So, what people have done since then is the seller could, and I'm actually looking at a property now for a client, offer 0% to the buyer's agent. Now, the buyer agent obviously is not going to work for free. So, what will end up happening is that if my buyer ends up wanting it, they would have to pay me on top of the whatever the price of the property is. Now, in a investment type project, this wouldn't might be um, hard money and all that. You might be able to do that. The issue is at scale, the mortgage, most of the buyers are buying with all the money they got. So, let's just say you're buying a 1,500 or a $500,000 house, 3% buyer agent commission. That's $15,000 that would go to the buyer agent, right?
Yeah.
Now, the buyer is using all their money for the down payment and loan, right? So the way it's set up now, the lenders don't have in there where you can bake in the buyer agent commission. If that were to happen, I think you would see the seller side pushing to go to zero as fast as possible. But in today's market, it's just not set up where the buyers have enough money to buy the house and pay the buyer's agent commission. So it's still, I would say, I mean, I'm seeing some lower commission numbers. Instead of 2.5 to 3, it's more 2 to 2.5. But it's still predominantly the seller agent, or the seller is paying for the buyer side as well as seller side.
How often are you seeing somebody save up money for a down payment versus just using the funds from a flip, or not a flip, but from their current house?
Most of the first time, obviously, it can be gifted. So you got a family member could gift it. But
Okay.
people who are move up buyers, usually what I'm seeing is whatever the money they got, that's the majority of what they're going to use to get the new home.
And so it's like they're going to sell the house
Mm.
and use that extra cash, and then yeah. How often does a first time buyer have a 20% down payment saved up with a 6-month emergency fund still set aside?
I mean, I don't even know of any of them really. Gosh, I'm going back. Actually, I take that back. Actually, my very first one, young guy, is my fiance's nephew. Just a person that is very cost conscious. He rented for a while, stacked a bunch of cash up. I don't think he put 20% down. I want to say it was 10, but there that's pretty rare. Young, and he was young. He's probably 23 or something, 24 when he bought it.
Wow, good for him.
But yeah, it's pretty rare to see people. Typically what they're doing is they're doing an FHA loan, and nowadays it's conventional, as low as 5%. So they're saving that money up, or for these tech people, they'll get a grant of stock, and then they can cash out that stock and then use that for the down payment. I've seen that quite a bit.
Yeah, that's why it's so hard for millennials or like Gen Z to afford a house is because they're starting with no equity or anything. They don't make
Hmm.
enough money to save enough. Like, what are you going to save $200 a month for 20 years? Like, it doesn't even make sense. I think the only solution is just figure out how to make more money. That's like the only way around it. Otherwise, you're
Right.
never going to be a homeowner.
Well, it's make more money and it's lowering your cost structure. So a lot of these millennials, you know, right, wrong, or indifferent, they are taking jobs that are more minimum wage and staying at home, and then they're blowing the money. So it's like, if you can increase your money and not increase your lifestyle, that's the number one thing that you have to do. But I'm not seeing a whole lot of that. At least the people that I interact with, it's they're spending money. Like I'm always amazed. Like whether you're at the mall or just walking around, and you'll see all these kids drinking like a $7 Starbucks, right? And they're going out to eat all the time. I'm like, if you would just save that money, you could actually buy something. But they're just used to what comes in goes out, and not saving the money.
It's also such a far off goal that it almost seems meaningless, right? Like it's
Right.
just like like why don't I just enjoy this Starbucks right now instead of waiting
Hmm.
to enjoy something for like years and decades potentially, which I kind of
Yeah.
sympathize with. But I think honestly, if I was like 20 years old, which I'm not far off from, but if I needed like a higher income job and I was stuck minimum wage, I feel like sales is the way you have to go. Like you're not just going to get a high income corporate job. You got to go and like eat what you kill, I think.
Yes, that's the higher probability of making more income faster. Obviously, not easy, right?
Yeah.
Um, because and I would say for most part of the 2000s all the way up to really until probably last year, if you got a computer science and engineering degree or whatever, you're making over 100K right out of college. But now with AI and all that, the um more and more people have the ability to be able to do those types of jobs. So it's I think decreasing the wages for those people that are coming in, and potentially harder to get a job. So sales, 100%. And now, as I'm in effectively, real estate agent is all sales. Right
Yeah.
now, I do know about real estate, and that's what helps me get clients, is that I focus on helping them build wealth. But most agents don't even know much about real estate, don't even own outside of their house. It's all marketing, building relationships, and selling. Getting in, literally doing it at the coffee table, kitchen table, getting somebody to agree to let you sell their house. So it's 100% sales. I wish I was an agent way long ago, man. It's such a game changer.
Really? Just having that ability to just go out and create your own income.
100%. I might be going in through kind of a rough patch here. Hopefully, it doesn't impact us. But the the ability to just go in and negotiate on your own. Because in the past, I've had people agents that I've worked with where I'm like, I actually know more than you, but I can't do anything because you got to have a license to transact. Um, and so it helps you get more information faster, be direct to the seller agent anyway. Obviously, you can build in your commission. Um, I actually have a young guy in Spokane that is in EXP with me, and been chatting with him on getting his first house hack. And he's doing a fourplex in Spokane. And I was talking to him about how to structure the deal. And I was like, you know, to help him out to do low cost, he can increase his agent commission. He can ask for, because it's seller paid in that scenario. Instead of doing 2.5, 3%, he could in theory ask for 5%. And he can also ask for a seller credit, right? So there's a lot of ways to structure a deal to minimize the amount of money that you would need if you're an agent. And that's just your own deals. Then when you start helping other people, I mean, this can be a pretty lucrative business if you have consistent deal flow coming in.
Yeah, which just takes so much cold outreach in the beginning. Like until you have the machine built, you just have to white knuckle brute force your way, cold calling, DMing, just door knocking. I think it's just that's the gauntlet people don't want to go through to get where you're at. I mean, you obviously know you have also a cool story how you utilized your network of people and did those meetups, like one to many
Mhm.
anything is pretty cool. And I think that was
Yeah.
partially how you got momentum, right? Is you were like the guy that all your buddies knew and everyone would go to these meetups where you would be like the person in real estate they knew, which is a really smart strategy.
Yeah, which I did that for 3 years before, because I knew I was going to leave Amazon, and that's what built the network to help parlay into, um, at least on the agent side, success. So, and I'm actually, post Amazon, I am doing meetups. So I've been doing them for this one in August will be the ninth one, I think. So I started at the end of last year, and I'm just going to be. It'll build momentum. I average maybe 8 to 10 people. You know, so it's one of those over time, consistently, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
Dude,
And
people sleep on that. That's such a valuable thing to be able to go and like
mhm,
have your time. Like
yeah,
people just are walking around out there, just, "Oh, I'm gonna go, like, just walk by the cement and order my McDonald's or whatever," and not even consider, like, "Maybe I should go listen." Like, people don't wanna fix themselves, you know what I mean? Like, there should be
right.
a crowded room, like, if someone can see what you did and, like, have the chance to just learn from you, it's insane.
Oh, and it's actually super fun because there's like this last time we came around, one of the people that were two of the people that were there were past clients, and they're one of them is house hacking and he's saving up for the next one, so that's exciting. The other one is bought a house and he's going to build another house in the back, so he's getting through permitting. So just seeing the progression of these people over time, that's fun for me,
Yeah,
because like one, I'm helping them grow, and at the same time, it's helping me generate income not just for me, but the team the of agents and support staff that I have in the Philippines.
yeah, that's awesome. Um, one more thing I wanted to ask you about before, because I kind of have to get going here in a little bit. I'm sure you probably are getting close to wherever you're driving, but I haven't looked into the details on this, but I wanted to bring it up because I figured you might know something. Ken McElroy, have you heard of him? Robert
Yeah, Ken
Kiyosaki's guy.
McElroy, yeah.
I think he just lost 50 million for investors. I saw that headline going around everywhere.
A couple, I don't know if it was one deal or multiple deals, but yeah, he's very big. He's the right hand man for Rich Dad Poor Dad, Kiyosaki. So
Yeah.
he's the guy that does the real estate for Kiyosaki.
That's like it's just kind of everyone's been talking about it, how the floating interest rates or whatever are going to come crashing, and like I feel like he of
Hmm.
all people was somebody saying like, "Beware of this. I'm underwriting things so intensely and do things the way I'm doing it." But I guess
Hmm.
nobody's completely safe, like you got to be careful.
Yeah, and I mean, and it's prolonged way longer than everyone thought because really, we're literally this year, 2027, is guaranteed that there's going to be a lot more. In 2022, that rates were going up in 2022, right? So
Yeah.
best case scenario, you bought or refied at that time, right? And you're probably in the 4-ish range, right? Now, commercial loans, majority of them on these multifamily are all 5-year fixed debt, right? So we're literally in the fifth year of all these. If you haven't already refied out or sold or took your loss or whatever, the last people that are hanging on are it's coming due, and I'm one of them. Mine is in January, so I'm in 5 months now. For us, we've raised the rents. We're about 50% loan to value. I think we'll be fine. Potentially even be able to do a cash out. But the we're just fortunate that we put more down at the beginning, and with the low interest rate, we're paid down debt over time to where we have enough cushion to where the worst case scenario for these people, if they lose the property, lose them, have to bring money to the table in order to do a refi, so cash in refi. So that's why I was surprised with Ken. If the McElroy one is true, in theory, he could have done H and refi. Now, this is where it comes in, and you really see the true colors, right? Like he apparently, I would imagine, has hundreds of millions of dollars. Now, a lot of it's
Yeah.
probably in real estate and probably not cash, right? But
He could make them
if
whole.
he wanted to, yeah, well, he could make them whole or buy them out by bringing in more cash or something, right? So that's what it's interesting. So there might be more things with that specific property where you might be like, well, I could come in and save it, but the underlying economic long term don't make sense anymore. That could be right. So, for example, I just heard this stat from about Austin in Texas, where I think Ken owns quite a bit. I think in the southwest, southeast, so Arizona, Texas area. Austin is their rents have gone down. I think it was like may have missed the numbers, but roughly 1650 was the average rental. Now it's like 13 something. So that's like
Dang.
almost 20% drop. So if you owned an asset and the mortgage goes up and the rates drop, there's no way out, and somebody's got to take a hit. And so maybe it made sense. Hey, just take this loss. Otherwise, you're going to put money into it and still be in a negative situation. So it's one of those probably strategic defaults that they did.
Yeah. That's crazy. Well, he's a public figure, so he's going to get all the backlash, but that's how it goes, I guess.
Yeah. I'm waiting to, I haven't, I was about a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, obviously Brandon Turner was public and talking about it,
Yeah.
and which I can respect that aspect of it. And then, Ken McElroy has a very prominent YouTube channel, and you could see in his chats, people who had this money said, hey, when are you going to talk about all the money you lost on XYZ deal?
Yeah.
And so it sounds like now it finally came to fruition.
Oh, so you could already see this in the writing on the wall with dang. Well,
Literally
Tucky.
are in go to his old, like a month or two ago, his YouTube videos. They had quite a few people be like, hey, when are you going to talk about this? And it was not just one time, it was multiple times.
Dang. Yeah, he even did a live stream yesterday. No headlines about his whole thing.
Hmm.
Dang.
Right. And
He's
which,
pretty stressed out.
oh, yeah. I mean, it's one of those, like, he's well off, right? So yeah, it sucks, but it's not going to take down the empire. And it's all we were big boys when we signed that paper.
Yeah.
So that was a potential of the outcome. And unfortunately, it was, since you signed up for it. that's just the way it works. Unfortunate, but it's the same thing if you bought, what like SpaceX, right? Like it's down since the IPO.
Yeah.
When you bought it, thought it was going to go to the moon, but it dropped. That you took risk when you made the purchase.
Sorry, it was really cutting out there, but say that again.
I was just saying you took people are taking the risk when they do these syndications.
Oh yeah, right.
It's the same if you buy like an IPO, right? You are anticipating going up. You have the information. It could go down. If it goes down, that's on you. If it goes up, that's on you. So
yeah, 100% at the end of the day. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out, but I'm sure there's going to be a lot more to come. We'll see. We'll see what he says. I don't think he's commented on it yet, so that'll be interesting. But I kind of got a hard.
It'll come out. Okay, sounds good, man. We'll catch up next week. I'll be on the cruise, so I should, as long as I get good Wi-Fi, I'll be on.
I for once actually might be traveling next week too, so we'll have to coordinate maybe time zones. Maybe be at the beach too, so Mallorca maybe. But all right, man, I'll catch you.